All right, folks, welcome to the video. Anthony Special here with Hawkeye Traders. Going to be breaking down on a daily chart the Euro FX futures market. I want to dive into this a little bit because every once in a while there is this phenomenon that transpires that so many people miss out on, all right? Because it could be the absolute lowest risk setup in the market, and you won't be able to identify it if you're not identifying one, who's in control, and where that high surge in volume is happening. So this is, again, kind of bigger picture, but if you're a swing trader on Forex, currency, so on and so forth, this could become vitally valuable to you. Now, when you are analyzing currencies, I strongly advise you go to the futures market if you're analyzing volume. Why? Because the Forex industry is extraordinarily adverse when it comes to who's clearing the orders, right? When you go to the futures market, guys, I mean, it comes right down to it. You can see it in the top left here. It's the CME, right? Chicago Mercantile Exchange. This is a legit volume reading transpiring on the Euro FX futures, okay? So especially when it comes to futures, I strongly recommend that you do your volume analysis in the futures market. You may be trading a currency pair, and that's totally fine. But go to the futures market for that volume analysis because it's going to make a difference, all right? And the particular candle I want to take a close look at right here is going to be Wednesday, March 8th of 2023. I want you to notice how extraordinarily tiny this candle is, okay? Like, it's super duper small. Like, you would miss it if I'm not pointing it out to you. But I also want you to look at how high the volume is, okay? And we're talking about ultra high selling volume. What transpired at this ultra high selling volume? Or better yet, what lacked? What did this ultra selling volume lack? Lacked the ability to make a new low. A, it's a super tiny candle, okay? B, it lacked the ability to break the most recent prior lows. That tells me that the sellers have either exhausted their move or they've climaxed their move. Exhausted their move in the sense that they're not interested in pushing any lower, okay, and the buyers are starting to absorb them, or they've just given it all they've got, ultra high selling volume with zero follow through. That tells me that I should be paying extraordinarily close attention. Again, this phenomenon happens stocks, futures, Forex, cryptocurrencies, okay? And more often than not, when you can identify this tiny candle at this either failed high or low with this extraordinary amount of volume that you would think would propel it either lower or higher, the reversal rate on this is so high that, I mean, you can literally build a trade plan around this in itself, all right? Because what are we really risking here, right? Like, if we're wrong, then the candle, after the candle prints, like, we're wrong, like, we're just risking the candle itself, right? What was that, like 40 or 50 ticks? But if we're right, you know, we're going to start looking at prior highs over here, we're looking at like 1,000 ticks, right? And let's just play devil's advocate. We start coming back up into this interior area. Okay? There's 290 ticks. We start running at these prior highs over here, 500 plus ticks, right? And then we head up here into these prior highs as well, and that puts us over 1,000 ticks. And you can see we achieved that before we took our first real bigger picture pullback. So the moral of the story is never discount a small price action candle, especially when there's extraordinarily large volume. Now, what Hawkeye does for you, it will print these candles, right, based on the color which the bias of the volume is offering. We will show you, rather than just the high volume that you see here on the background of the screen, who is in control Because at a low, I want to see strong selling to identify that climax. At a high, I want to see strong buying to identify that climax. We also give you this radar dot. This dot, you can see these dots will populate here in the volume area, and noticing that we have ultra high selling volume with this tiny, tiny, tiny little candle. To me, that screams reversal all day long. Why? Because I understand the relationship between volume and price action. In fact, it is the forefront of my approach to trading, and it should be the forefront of yours as well. And I say that with a great deal of confidence. Guys, I've been doing this now going on 13 years, maybe a little over that. I've worked with hundreds, if not thousands, of traders at this point in my career. And no matter what, wherever they're struggling, we always end up circling back to the basics, right? The basics are volume and price action. As you can see, there's nothing else on this screen. Volume and price action. That's it. Because that's all you need to identify moves like this. Right? If you have other components that you want to incorporate because you feel that they can give you an edge, it's totally fine. Right? But what I'm telling you is if you do not have the foundational components, which are an understanding of the relationship between volume and price action, you can add all the stuff you want in the world to your chart, and I can assure you that none of it is going to deliver you any consistency. Right? At least not to the degree that volume and price action will. Because volume and price action, whether it's an intraday trade, a scalp, a day trade, a swing trade, a position trade, the relationship between volume and price action is consistent on all time frames. So, with that being said, isn't it time to focus on volume and price action? Right? It's going to take a little bit of learning, but we're going to give you the indicators, okay? You're going to be able to access the Hawkeye paint bar. You're going to access the volume radar, the wide bar, the pivots, everything you see on my screen, you're going to get. All right? But you're also going to gain access to the Hawkeye Mastery Library. Why? Because you need to understand when and where different situations that volume and price action interact in certain ways can predict what could transpire next. Now, why do I say that? Because volume is the only leading indicator when paired with the understanding of price action, right? To me, all I see, if I just saw a little candle here and I didn't see the volume, I wouldn't know what to do. But since I knew that there was this extraordinarily high selling volume and we failed to close below the prior lows, we created this really tiny candle. That told me, the volume's what told me that this is going to reverse, right? The price action is always going to be there, but because the price action was so small, if I didn't know this was all selling volume, and I didn't know there was a Hawkeye radar dot here, an ultra high volume radar dot, I wouldn't know that the reversal is going to transpire. But because I have those things, I do, and I use them every single day. Again, guys, whether it's day trading, swing trading, position trading, scalping, whatever. The consistency between volume and price action exists on all time frames, and you must understand it, because without it, I can assure you, you are missing the greater picture. So I want you to do me a favor. Below this video, there's some links. Consume the content. Reach out to myself, my Hawkeye Concierge team. Let us help you get these indicators in your hand and access to the Hawkeye Mastery Library so you can focus on volume and price action. Guys, God bless. I appreciate you for being here. I look forward to seeing all your success using Hawkeye volume and price action in your future trades, and I will see you in the next video.